Hi, and welcome to my introduction to Copperplate Calligraphy part number 7. In this video today, I'm going to be doing some writing, as you can guess by the thumbnail design. This video is about writing words and combining the shapes that we have been doing so far up to now. So I'm gonna start with a ballpoint pen, and then I'll repeat the same movements with the pointed nib. As always, I mentioned, if you need guidelines, you can go to my Instagram account, follow the link on my bio, and select calligraphy guide sheets, and you will download a PDF file with a collection of blank calligraphy styles for different styles of writing, like a collection of blank sheets to help you. Now, I'm using a ratio. Let's start slowly. I'm using a ratio of 2, 1, and 2 for this exercise. And as I always do, I make a note explaining where on this guideline I'm sitting, and then I will go closer. Okay, so this area in here, it's called the X height, which corresponds to the height of lowercase letter x. And then this section is here is the short ascender, long ascender, short descender, long descender. So I have chosen 5 words for today, and they combine a lot of letters that use the shape of the A, as I did in my former video, part number 6. So I'm gonna go a little bit closer now. Cool. So you can see the guideline in the background, and I'm gonna be using the ballpoint pen first, and then I will repeat the same movements with the nib. So the first word I want to try is Madagascar. So let's start. Obviously, starting on the base of the X height, and letter M, I'm going up, overturn, down, second overturn, down, third overturn, and exit. Stopping here is not actually an exit, it's the ligature to the next letter form. Now, because I have an oval coming next, I stop in the middle of the X height. I allocate a space for my letter A, and I know how much space I need to allocate because I understand that the spaces inside each letter are the same for the entire alphabet, with a couple of exceptions. So looking at the space inside my M, I already know how wide is going to be my letter A. I start around 2 o'clock and I go up and around, holding hands as I'm going down, up, closing the oval shape, and then down, and exit the stroke and stop again in the middle of the X height. Now, the next letter form is a letter D, which is the same shape as letter A. So I will repeat the same movements again. I allocate the space for my oval, which is gonna look very similar to this one. And I start around 2 o'clock again. So I'm going up and around, holding hands as I'm going down. I'm going up again, all the way till the short ascender line, going down, going up till the middle of the X height, and stop again. Repeat the same, 2 o'clock, up, down, ligature, second A, stop. All right, so I'm repeating the same movements all the time. Every time we have all these letters that are oval shapes, so I'm repeating the same again and again and again. Now, 2 o'clock, going up and down, joining, going up again and down. Loop for letter G, up until the center of the X height, and again the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the fifth letter with the shape of the A. Join. Letter S. Up. Now, again, letter C is another letter that is a round letter, follows the shape of the oval. So I'm going to do the same movements again. Stop in the middle of the X height, 2 o'clock, up and down, ligature, up again, middle of the X height, another A, close my A, and all the way up, all the way down, exit. All right, it's super long. If I'm talking about the movements I did, okay, let's start. I started in here, and at the bottom of my first overturn, first stop, second overturn, second stop, double turn, so up and down, so over and under, and then in the middle of the X height, number 3. I created the oval, and again, middle of the X height, number 4. I created the oval, up and down, middle of the X height, number 5. I'm marking the possible stops you might need to do while writing. This will depend if you start your ovals at 2 o'clock or at 12 o'clock. All right, I start mine at 2 o'clock, and if you're not too sure, you can watch my part number 2, where I talk about ovals, and also my part number 6, where I talk again about ovals and ductus. So again, 2 o'clock, create the oval shape, halfway inside the X height, number 6, same, loop, middle of the X height, number 7, again, all the way up and down. So in here, I actually stop at the end of my S, number 8. And from the bottom of the S, I went up and stop. This can be the same, really. So you can stop here, which is okay, or you can do the bottom of the S and up all in one go. So it depends how fast you are moving between the letter forms. Now, letter C starts here and stops again in the middle of the X height. Again, another oval shape. And now I stop at the top, although you could do it all together. And then the finished movement, the exit of this word, number 12. That's not compulsory to make all these stops, but it's a very good way to analyze this letter form and see what's going on. Now I'm gonna move a little bit. I'm gonna go to the line below, and I'm gonna repeat this word using the pointed pen. So let's see how we go. Okay, starting again on the base of the X height, up, push, up, push, up, double turn. Middle of the X height, stop. Allocate the space for my oval shape, and at 2 o'clock, up and down. Ligature, going up, move to the right, middle of the X height, stop. Again, 2 o'clock, ligature, going up, always flat top, middle of the X height, stop. This is a very good word to practice oval shapes and A shapes. Stop, and again. Now, flat top and down. Cross on the baseline, and in the middle of the X height, stop again. Now, again, up, ligature, flat top, Again, flat top. Okay, now I need to add a little bit of weight at the top of my C, and that's it. That is the difference between one word and the other one. All right, so let's do the second example. So my second example, it's gonna be catamaran. So I'm gonna start using the ballpoint pen again and explain the stops that I'm making. Let's start with letter C. So from here, starting on the base of the X height and up. Stop in the middle of the X height and then 2 o'clock and rounding. Ligature up till the middle of the X height and stop again. Now my A, ligature all the way up for my T, down, middle of the X height again, and second A. Double turn for M, overturn and double turn, stop in the middle of the X height, qatar, third A, ligature, down, and then I have another R, stop in the middle of the X height, fourth A, and then to finish, letter N. There are many ways to write copperplate calligraphy that might look a little bit more contemporary and a little bit more dynamic than this way of writing everything inside the X height box where everything is pretty static. But at the moment, this is an introduction, so I'm not going to go into any type of variations. I just want to talk about the rhythm while writing and what the steps I'm doing. So in here, this is the entry point, number 1. And then I started up here in this direction. And that was the first stop that I made. Now I stopped in the middle of the X height in here, and then allocate the space for my letter A. Then I went all the way up and down, and my next stop was here, number 3. I allocated the space, 2 o'clock, second A, and my next stop was actually here. Then I have an overturn again, 5, a double turn, so over and under turn, and I stop in here, 6, 2 o'clock, letter A, all the way up. If I want to, I can definitely do the entire letter R, and my next step, stop will be there, 2 o'clock again, and from here all the way there, and from here, 9. So entry, and number 9, exit of this word. And obviously you can tell that this is not a real, as in real, I mean if I literally did not lift the pen from the paper, which I will do if it's cursive. For example, I'll do it in here smaller, up, down. All right, that is cursive. And the entire word is done in one movement. That would be the, well, and then the crossbar, all right, at the end. That would be the definition of cursive. The entire word has built in a continuous manner where I never lift the pen from the paper. What I'm doing in here is using a monoline to show you the structure of the writing, because that is exactly what I'm going to do now with the pointed pen. So that would be handwriting. That are the steps I'm applying for Copperplate Calligraphy. So I'm moving now in here and I repeat the same with the ballpoint pen, sorry, with the pointed pen. Okay, I'll repeat what you have in there with all the steps. So entry stroke till the middle of the X height, 2 o'clock, and ligature, middle of the X height, stop. I can add if I want the weight at the top of the C now or at the end of the word. Then again, 2 o'clock and ligature. Up. I make sure the top of my T is flat all the way down, exit and stop again. 2 o'clock, ligature. Flat top, double turn. So double turn means obviously we have the underturn and the overturn. And then let's keep going. So first arch, second arch, stop in the middle of the X height, 2 o'clock, flat, stop in the middle of the X height, stop, and the end. And then I come back in here and straight or a little bit of a curvy movement to crossbar of the T. Let's do another word. So the next one is called is Alabama. I'm not explaining today the letters that I haven't shown you prior this video. So letter S, letter R, and a few ascenders that are coming now. I'm not gonna go into it because I haven't explained them yet, but I want to talk about writing words and the connections in between each pair of words, each pair of letters. Okay, let's go with Alabama. So again, I'm starting with the ballpoint pen. I'm starting with the entry stroke and stop in the middle. Again, I have an A, ligature, all the way up. Stop, second A. Stop in the middle of the X height again. Double turn. Arch, arch, stop, and down, exit. All right, let's talk about the stops. So starting at 2 o'clock, that's the initial. Obviously, I have an entry stroke that you can or cannot apply, but normally you would add the entry stroke. And then number 1, I stop in here. Actually, this movement is easily continuous. So my next stop will be in here. Number 2, my next A and all the way up to here is continuous as well. Number 3, third A and all the way under and overturn. And that will be my next stop. Next stop, middle of the X height, next stop, and to finish, 7. Okay, that's the movements that I would do to create this word. Let's go with the pointed pen. Okay, so have it here. So, okay, cool. Okay. Entry stroke until the middle of the X height. And now 2 o'clock and around. Close the oval if it's not closed, flat top. Two o'clock. Close the oval. Again, middle of the X height and down. One. Another one. Middle of the X height and finish. Okay, so that's how I joined everything, and it should, obviously you see the stops I made, which are in here, but when it's finished, it's not obvious anymore. So it looks like everything is connected and everything looks like cursive continuous writing. Let's do Patagonia. So let's repeat these steps again. All right. So let's use the P that I explained, I think, in part 1. So it's a P that is a little bit taller and goes down only till the short descender line. So in the guideline, I'm currently sitting in this section, and this is my X height, and then short ascender line and short descender line. So the top of the P is a little bit shorter than the short ascender line. So I'm more or less in the center between the top of the X height and the top of the short ascender line. Now I will repeat the movement that I do with an N, which is a double turn. I'm going out, down, up till the middle of the X height and stop. And then here I have letter A. Up, down, all the way up for my letter T, and middle of the X height, and again stop. Second A, and middle of the X height, stop. A shape, but it's a letter G, so all the way down, loop, cross on the baseline, and stop again in the middle of the X height. Heaps of examples with oval shapes and A shapes on this video for you to see the connections. Now, space and letter O, connection, eyelet, and up, middle of the X height, up and down, closing the A, finish. And the crossbar. All right, if I note my steps, starting up here, entry stroke, and the first stop up here, second stop in the middle of the X height, all the way for my T, third stop in the middle of the X height, fourth stop again in the middle of the X height, fifth stop in the middle of the X height, and oval, 6. I normally stop in here, so I'm gonna put 7, 8. This can be easily done continuously, the letter I, depending on the rhythm of your calligraphy. And then last one, number 9. Okay, examples of places where you can stop. Let's repeat that with the thin and thicks. Okay, so thin, up. Now I move 1 millimeter to the right to make sure the top of my P is flat and down. Now I notice in here already, the first down stroke for my letter P is very, very thick. So it's a lot thicker than in the other words. So if I want to be consistent with what I'm doing in here, I mean, number one, I can leave it, so ignore it. Number two, I have to keep the same amount of pressure in the rest of the word. So let's see how I'm going. I'm going to try to apply the same amount of pressure and create this very, very thick down stroke everywhere. Let's see how I'm going. Now I'm starting from the baseline of the X height and I'm going up and thick and up again. Stop in the middle of the X height. So you see, well, I don't know if you see, but it is quite bolder compared to this one. Let's keep going and see how I'm going. Okay, I'm stopping in the middle of the X height at 2 o'clock and letter A. And flat top all the way up. Now make sure the top is flat and apply quite a bit of pressure. And center of the X height for my stop. Again, A. Another A shape. Okay, so I need to apply quite a bit of pressure and then going back to thin. I don't normally jump when I cross the downstroke, but in this case, I'm applying so much pressure that I feel there is so much ink going on in here at the moment that I don't want to mess it up. So part letter O. Okay, letter I. And up and down. Maybe the last bit needs, okay, dot as in tittle in a circle shape or elongated shape, and the crossbar. If you see these words next to each other, I think you can see the different weights. All right, if we were talking about fonts in here, we probably say bold, black. Okay, so the last one now is qatar. So let's try the shape of the Q that I did on video part number 6. So I'll use the word point. Okay, entry stroke and first oval. Down. This time I'm turning towards the right, a small loop and back in. Stop in the middle of the X height and second oval. All the way up and down. Stop in the middle of the X height. Second A. Down. And letter R. Exits. Okay, what I'm looking at when I'm doing this are a few things I have mentioned in other videos. So negative spaces in all these areas. So the meeting point for the thin and thicks is always exactly, well, not mathematically exactly, but very, very similar in all these positions. Now, obviously, I'm going to use another color. The space I mentioned in other videos, the space inside the word and the space between the words are very similar. So everything becomes a pattern between space inside and a space in between. Okay, the stops I made on this word is the whole Q. I stopped in here, 1, the oval shape, and here 2. And I can easily make this continuous, and that would be number 3. So it's a lot shorter, this example. It's good to look at very long words because we have many different ligatures between pair of letters, and it's good to practice that because it's gonna be a good way to learn and answer questions on how do I join this letter and this one. So let's do it next to it. So entry stroke. Okay, down, and now lift, cross, tiny ligature, and cross again, and up. Stop. Second A, down, all the way up for letter T, middle of the X height, second A, and finish. I hope this demo was helpful, and I'll see you around soon. Leave me a comment if you liked it or not. Thank you very much. Bye.